Please video like and subscribe this channel. The corridors of Arden Palace were eerily silent, bathed in the pale glow of the twin moons outside. Commander Elias Vaughn had never seen a place so grand and yet so intimidating. Towering ceilings stretched into the distance, crystal chandeliers glimmering with faint alien light, and walls lined with murals depicting centuries of conquest and diplomacy. Every step he took echoed, reminding him that he was a guest in the seat of absolute power. Yet, it wasn't the palace itself that made him uneasy. It was her. The queen moved with calm authority, her lavender skin reflecting the light in a soft shimmer, and her eyes, larger than any human's, piercing through him as if she could read every thought. Elias had met alien royalty before, but none had carried the aura of command like this. She didn't need guards. She didn't need weapons. Her presence alone demanded attention. At her side was the child. A small figure swaddled in silver and blue cloth, with eyes like molten silver. Elias had never held a being so fragile yet so distinctly royal. Somehow, even as a human, he felt the weight of responsibility pressing onto his shoulders. "You will hold her now," the queen said, her voice smooth yet chilling, carrying authority beyond any command he had ever received. "And know this, you have made your choice." Elias froze. He had not expected this. The room's golden glow seemed to dim around him as he stepped forward cautiously. His heart raced, not out of fear of her, but out of the gravity of the situation. He lifted the child gently, feeling the light warmth of tiny hands curl around his finger. The queen's gaze did not waver. "Do not falter. Every moment you hold her shapes what comes next." The weight of a choice. Elias had faced battlefields, cosmic storms, and rogue factions across multiple star systems. But nothing had prepared him for this. The child's tiny breath, the innocence in her silver eyes, and the lethal calm in her mother's gaze combined into a tension he could almost physically feel. "Why me?" he asked softly, almost to himself. The queen's lips curved into a thin, unreadable line. "Because the galaxy tests those who can act when fear tempts them to falter. You have been chosen. Whether by luck or destiny, that is not for you to decide." He swallowed hard. "Chosen, for what?" "To keep her alive," the queen said simply. "And to witness what comes after your choice." The words hung in the air like a sword suspended over his head. The intrusion. Before he could respond, alarms blared throughout the palace. Red lights bathed the corridors. Soldiers, heavily armed and adorned in ceremonial armor, rushed past him. But the moment they saw the queen, they froze, kneeling instantly, as if compelled by an unseen force. Elias blinked. His mind struggled to comprehend what he was seeing. They kneel?" "Yes," the queen said calmly. "They kneel because I command them. Not with threats, not with fear, but with recognition of authority. You will see soon enough what power truly is." As Elias held the child closer, the small being stirred, reaching a tiny hand toward the queen. She smiled faintly, the first warmth he had seen from her. And then, her voice dropped into a tone that froze his blood. "You've made your choice now," she said. It was not a threat, it was a verdict. The test. The palace trembled slightly, not physically, but in the sense that something ancient and powerful had been set in motion. Soldiers remained kneeling, eyes locked on the queen. And Elias understood, the child in his arms was more than a princess. She was a key to power, a living symbol of the dynasty that ruled this sector of the galaxy. To protect her was to take responsibility not only for her life but for the balance of political power that spanned star systems. Footsteps echoed behind him. A delegation of alien envoys from neighboring sectors had arrived, their expressions a mix of awe and terror. They, too, recognized the queen's authority, though few had ever seen her in person. "You must understand," she said, her voice soft now, almost maternal, that holding her is not a choice you can undo. Once in your hands, her fate is intertwined with yours. Every decision, every hesitation, every act of courage or cowardice will echo across worlds. Elias's mind raced. He had fought wars where entire fleets had been lost, but none carried stakes like this. One wrong move could ignite conflicts that spanned the galaxy. A moment of connection. The child stirred again, cooing softly, reaching out to touch Elias's face. A warmth spread through him that countered the icy fear that gripped his chest. In that small being, he saw not just royalty, but innocence, potential, and the fragile hope of the galaxy itself. "Do you feel it?" the Queen asked quietly. "The weight of responsibility?" "Yes," Elias admitted. "It's overwhelming. And yet necessary," she said. "Power is not taken. Power is recognized, respected, and protected. You are the first guardian she has known beyond me. Protect her well, or the consequences will be felt in ways you cannot yet imagine." Elias nodded, a new determination forming. The fear that had gripped him moments ago was replaced with resolve. The threat emerges. Suddenly, the palace doors shattered. Rogue forces from the outer rim, pirates who had long coveted a strike against the Valara dynasty, poured in. Blaster fire echoed off crystal walls, soldiers sprang into action, but all the while, Elias held the child tightly. Time slowed. Every decision was critical. One misstep could end the child's life. He ducked behind a pillar, calculating paths of movement, angles of fire. He realized the Queen had anticipated this, testing not only his courage but his ability to remain calm under lethal pressure. The child, surprisingly, did not cry. Her tiny fingers curled around Elias's uniform as if sensing his thoughts, trusting him instinctively. The Queen's command. From across the hall, the Queen raised her hand. The soldiers immediately formed a protective perimeter, their weapons precise, movements synchronized with preternatural efficiency. "You have made your choice," she repeated, voice ringing over the chaos. "Now act. Protect her, and you protect the future. Fail, and all is lost." Elias took a deep breath. He could see the pirates advancing. He could see the soldiers' shields forming. And most importantly, he could feel the child's trust in him. "Then we move," he whispered. The escape. Through a combination of skill, intuition, and the guidance of the Queen's soldiers, Elias maneuvered the child through corridors, avoiding blaster fire, navigating hidden passages, and finally reaching the palace's exit to the shuttle bay. Each step was tense, each breath measured. The Queen's presence remained in his mind, her words echoing, "You've made your choice now." By the time they reached the shuttle, the rogue forces were contained. Soldiers formed a protective cordon around the vessel, kneeling one last time before the Queen as Elias boarded with the child. The aftermath. As the shuttle lifted off, leaving the palace behind, Elias looked down at the child in his arms. For the first time, she smiled, and he felt a bond forming, one that went beyond duty. It was trust, instinctive and profound. "You've done well," the Queen's voice came through the comms, calm and precise. "The galaxy will test you again. Remember this feeling. Remember the weight you carry. And remember this: courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite it." Elias nodded. He didn't yet fully understand the consequences of his choice, but he knew one truth with certainty: the life of this child and the fate of countless worlds was now intertwined with his. The stars stretched endlessly before him. The galaxy was vast, full of danger, politics, and unforeseen challenges. But Elias felt ready. He held the child closer, feeling her warmth, her life, and her potential. And he made a silent promise: he would not fail her. As the shuttle soared into hyperspace, the Queen's words echoed in his mind, no longer threatening, but guiding. "You've made your choice now. Live with it. Protect it. And let the galaxy remember that courage is not measured by power alone, but by the will to defend what matters most. The stars blurred into streaks of light, and Elias knew that everything had changed in that single, fateful moment. He was no longer just a soldier or a diplomat, he was the guardian of the Queen's child, a living symbol of the hope, responsibility, and future of a galaxy yet to be shaped. End.